Okay, we have the images, the headline, and the byline here. The next thing to do is to put in the text, most of the text here. So that is what we're going to be doing in this video. I am going to first of all place all of this text inside our InDesign document, and then I'm going to create linked text boxes so it is just one unit. And this is a very important part of laying out text for making sure that InDesign and later on Acrobat and other applications understand what text is or what a story is, for example, from the piece of text, and also for working with pieces of text that are not necessarily continuous in the same space, but you want to edit them together, as you see here. So this and this and this are just one piece of text, actually, even though they're separate from one another on the page. Okay, so to bring the text here, I'm just gonna hit W to bring my grid up so I see what I'm doing. And I'm going to go to my document here that's already open, and I'm just gonna copy and paste everything. The whole content of the story. So I've already put in the headline and the byline, and I'm gonna grab everything else from here up until just here where I have a bigger space where you have these two paragraphs, I guess, that are actually these pull-out quotes here. So accepting these, I'm just gonna click and drag to the very beginning and just copy this and paste it in InDesign. And you see it comes up as a small box, but all the text is actually there, even though it looks like it's just the beginning. And you can tell because there's this little square, this little red square in the lower right corner of the box with a red plus inside it, and that shows me there is more text here than is actually visible that can fit in the box. And that is okay for now. We'll have to set the font properly so that it all fits. I just want for now to make a box that's 4 columns wide, 4 columns of our grid. So that's basically the width of the text column, and bring it all the way down, basically one line above that decorative line at the bottom, just where the photo also stops. And I can zoom in here to check, but it's exactly on that baseline, so that's okay. Okay, the text still doesn't fit, and now I have to extend it to the other columns. So the way to do this, and it's really easy, is to just click on this plus, and now it loads all of the rest of the text, so I can draw another text box. And I can just click and drag and draw another text box, again 4 columns wide, and I can bring it down here, make sure again the spacing is just right, so just one line between the text and the photo. And it still doesn't all fit. We still have the red plus there, which is okay. I'll click it again and draw another box, another 4 column wide box, and drag it all the way down here again, just to the bottom of the photo. It still doesn't fit, and we didn't expect it to fit necessarily because the font size now is really big. But we will fix that in time. What you can see though is that these boxes are linked together. So if you make them this way, just pressing the red plus in the lower right corner of a box and making a new one, these are connected, as you can see here, by these lines. If you can't see these lines that show you the connections and you want to, you can go to View and Extras, and here you have text threads. You have Show Text Threads if you can't see them, or you can also hide them from here if you think they're too much. It's whether you see them or don't, the boxes will still be linked, and you can tell they're linked by looking at the little arrow at the bottom, right? If the box is not linked, it's not gonna have anything there. I'm gonna quickly make an empty box just to show you how that looks. And see, this is a box with no text and it doesn't continue anywhere, while this is a box that continues somewhere and it has a little arrow going out, and the other one has an arrow going in as well. So this is how you know they're linked if you don't have the threads visible on the page. And also, if you just manipulate them, you'll see, because if I were to set these in different boxes that are completely disconnected, and then want to arrange them a bit, it's gonna become difficult, because if I want to bring this this box, for example, to start higher up, because it's too far down, and it really is, I have to bring it up to just one line under the thumbnail. Everything else is just going to shift. So I'm going to zoom out and show you that again. See, if I make this bigger, and you can actually tell there's one word with which the second column starts here. And when I make this bigger, everything just moves higher, and things move from the previous box to here. So it's just like it's one single flowing piece of text. And because otherwise, if I were, for example, to later edit a text and just, let's say, remove a paragraph, I would just be left with a blank space here at the bottom and nothing happens to the next one. But here it just rearranges like it's continuous text. So that's why it's really important you always have, for the same story, right, for the same article, which is logically continuous text, that you have linked text boxes. It is very, very important. Okay, and now I am going to lay out this text properly, which is really easy. I'm just going to double click the text box, so I'm inside it, it's active, and I am going to hit Control+A on the keyboard, which selects everything. You can find that under the edit menu, and select all as well if you don't remember the shortcut. But this is a shortcut that you have available in any application. So whether you're using, I don't know, Chrome or Word or whatever application you're using, in most cases this will work as a select all command, Control-A. And in InDesign it selects everything in a box or in linked boxes, even what's outside. Because you remember, we still had content that's not visible, that's outside of these boxes. So it selects everything, all the text. And I'm just going to, again, change the settings here. The font I'm going to be using has a bit of a weirder name, C059, which is basically an open source free version of a famous font called Century Schoolbook. And I'm going to choose C059 Roman here. And the size is 9 points. And the leading here, the space between the lines, should be set to, let's see, let me zoom in here so maybe it's a bit more visible. This should be set to 10, not 10.8, which is the default. And there's still a bit of text left out, and that's something we're going to fix later on. But this is basically the font size, the font and the size that we want. And I'm just going to come in here and also set this to justify. So I should normally switch to paragraph formatting controls and just choose that little option there to justify the text. Now it fits. It's actually a bit too short, but once we add the other elements here, everything is gonna fit quite nicely.